Diego is without a doubt a gem of a storyteller. She joined the circle about 2 years ago. Now she's the vice president of events. And let me tell you a little bit about Carolina. She's a dynamic bilingual storyteller from Colombia. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Oh, hi, Carolina. And she's been captivating audiences with enchanting tales of her vibrant landscapes of Latin America. Since arriving in the U.S., this is really cool. Carolina has performed at several storytelling festivals, including the National Storytelling Festival in Jonesboro. Wow. Carolina has mesmerized listeners in schools, churches, libraries, museums, and cultural centers from coast to coast. As a Wolf Trap teaching artist and a member of TAPAS, which is the teaching artists presenting in Asheville schools, Carolina continues to inspire and educate through the art of storytelling. She really doesn't have much to do. I mean, she has so much free time now. So now she's venturing into the world of puppetry and exploring the exciting process of publishing her first children's book. What I'm about to say so describes Carolina. With her boundless creativity and unwavering dedication, Carolina Quiroga is not just a storyteller, but Carolina is a cultural ambassador, weaving the threads of the Latin American heritage into the hearts of audiences everywhere, and to celebrate the universal human experience. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for such a treat. Carolina.
Thank you. Thank you, Chuck, for all that enthusiasm. And so I thought about sharing a couple stories today. The first one is fairly new, and it is about my name. We all have a name, right? Some wear it with pride, others with modesty, and others with a bit of discomfort. Still, most people keep their birth name for a while. Unless their identity is confronted, then the name just mutates, transforms, or grows in unexpected ways. My name is Carolina Andrea Quiroga Hurtado. My parents call me Carito. Other family members call me Carolinita. My Colombian friends call me Caro. I was once Nani to my papi. To some of my teachers, I was Carolina Q. And to others, Señorita Quiroga. Over the years, my name has twisted and stretched in ways I never anticipated. In the 1980s, there was a rush for the name Carolina. Carolina de Monaco, this beautiful, famous European princess with a tragic family life resembling a Mexican telenovela, was making the headlines. And how about the Venezuelan fashion designer Carolina Herrera, who was gracing the runways, inspiring elegance and desire? Thanks to these icons, at least 20% of girls born in my generation were named Carolina. There were 3 Carolinas in my grade: Carolina Lopez, Carolina Restrepo, and Carolina Quiroga. And our personalities and physiognomies couldn't differ more. A black leader, a white entertainer, and a mestiza bookworm. We went to private school, so the first Carolina and I were rare diversity additions. To avoid confusing us in case they couldn't tell us apart, they shortened our names: Caro Lopez, Caro Restrepo, and Caro Quiro. It worked, sort of. When I came to the US, my name changed even more, and along with that, my identity. To some, my name became a tongue twister. Others gave up entirely with the excuse, "Oh, I'm too old to learn how to pronounce that." For instance, at Starbucks or in short interactions with older folks, I became Catalina, Coralina, Christina, Carlina. I forgave all these mistakes. Why correct them if I would never see them again? But eventually I grew tired of the rush scribbles on the coffee cup or the awkward looks. And I decided to go with a more practical solution, to introduce myself as Andrea, my middle name. This strategy was inspired by a group of South Korean classmates who introduced themselves as Susie, Candy. I asked them if those were their real names. They laughed. People here can't pronounce our names. Can't or won't. Our names are part of our identity and often are tied to memories of loved ones. Yet practicality won. Andrea became my to-go customer's name. It was never mispronounced or misspelled, and it saved me a lot of painful repetitions. Carolina. Okay, Carolina. And other explanations. Now we arrive to the issue of my last names. In Latin America, we honor both sides of the family. So my legal last names are Quiroga Hurtado. But the bank, in its infinite wisdom, rebaptized me as Carolina Hurtado. I tried explaining that Quiroga was my first last name, not a third name, but they wouldn't budge. So Carolina Hurtado was born, or rather imposed by this minimalistic American norm. Carolina Hurtado is my corporate alter ego. She's a confident gray suit, rushing through well-lit halls in her high heels, making her mark in a world built by men. Carolina Hurtado finished engineering school like I did, but she dared to pursue a career in the corporate world, making her parents, my parents, proud immediately. But she's not me. At this point, I wonder what my life would have been without a father, without Mr. Quiroga. Numerology says that the name Quiroga sums up to 7, the number of deep thinkers, melancholic philosophers, and scientists. Papa Quiroga, now 76, teaches at a college and holds 2 master's degrees, one in astrophysics, the guy's an astronomer, and a PhD. His intellect and curiosity are my inheritance. Without him, I would have been Carolina Hurtado, a simpler version of myself, with a mild curiosity, consumed by efficiency and productivity, a lover of romance and erotic novels and thrillers. She would have a more straightforward life path. Many would have loved that, sometimes even me. Now we arrive to my husband's last name. My beloved's last name or family name is Stoltz. And although I married him, I did not take his last name. Personally, I think it's a little overrated for a woman to be the one welcomed into someone else's family. But my husband's Mima, the matriarch of the family, couldn't process the idea of me not changing my family's name and couldn't pronounce, what is it? And so I granted her the courtesy of letting her call me Carolina Stoltz. Oh, it sounded fancy. I flirted with the idea for a minute. Then I thought that Carolina Stoltz would be probably taller and wider. And it would have saved me the pain of having my vote contested today by the Republican loser, Mr. Jefferson Griffin, who couldn't conceive the idea of a Latina living in a white people's zip code, because I live in Black Mountain. But had he seen Carolina Stoltz, he would have seen a tall white lady. And he would have been okay with that. But I chose to keep my family's heritage and ancestry, despite the bumps on the road. But back in the day, I did toy with the idea of combining the names. And I did, Carolina Quiroga Stoltz. But it was a disaster. MCs trying to introduce me would sweat, shivered, and almost gave up despite the constant rehearsals. Carolina. The mnemotechniques. Quiroga. And my blessings. You got this. You got this. It was worse than trying to pronounce a German, Chinese, or Indian, Russian name. I became unrecognizable. With you, ladies and gentlemen, Carolina Schultz. Who is that? Likely a woman with some sort of Jewish African ancestry. I saw myself with a little lighter skin, big brown eyes, and a slender figure. I wonder what this Carolina Quiroga Schultz would have been. Likely a nurse with a vein for writing short fictional horror tales, born in a mix of a Jewish Christian faiths, deeply devoted to keeping peace between the two. Eventually, I dropped the idea altogether because I'm not a diplomat. Now, to make things simpler, I eventually adopted the name Carolina Storyteller as my business and stage name. It worked perfectly for children, audiences, teachers, and my website. Until, at a festival in Utah, a group of storytellers confronted me. Why calling myself Carolina Storyteller? They thought I was being presumptuous, as if I was trying to call myself the one and only storyteller. I tried explaining, but they didn't seem impressed by my traumas. Life is okay for the Adams, Arnolds, Smiths, and Williams of the world, but not for the Quiroga Schultz. But the question stayed in the back of my mind for a while. And one day I understood that it was not about the title only, but about owning my name. Why making it easier for others? If when I'm on stage, either for 15 seconds or 15 minutes, I'm famous, baby. The world can adapt to me. In 2023, I left all that behind, and I became Carolina Quiroga. My business name, my stage name, my website. But I'm still Andrea as a customer. Because I respect the barista's time. I mean, those guys are juggling with so many orders and weird names all the time. Today, I appreciate it when people try to pronounce my name as I try with theirs. But if they butcher it, I don't correct them harshly. I hate to embarrass people. Plus, let's be honest. People don't remember half of the things the MC says. But they do remember the experience the storyteller gave them. And if you like my story, then I have a better chance for you to commit to learning my name. Whether you call me Caro, Carolina, or Andrea, I will respond with the confidence of someone that knows that a name is not only syllables, but it holds stories. And stories hold worlds within them. But worlds are in constant adaptation. Thank you. Thank you. Now I'm thinking about sharing a short, funny anecdote about my journey, my English journey in the United States. And this is part of a bigger story, so I'm just sharing with you just kind of the center of the story. And you all, right now, if you don't remember, I'm from Colombia, that's in South America. And my first language is, of course,
Spanish.
Spanish, good. So when I came to Johnson City, Tennessee to do my master's in storytelling, the TOEFL, which is the test of English as a foreign language, assured me and the school that my English was proficient. But people's faces said otherwise. For months, I didn't dare to leave campus because I was afraid. Every time I encountered a native Tennessean, I was clueless. I couldn't understand what they were saying, and they didn't understand me back. My brain was overwhelmed trying to decipher this strange new language of mad gestures, frustrations, ain'ts, and these damn Mexicans. But I'm Colombian. Same thing, darling. Well, at least he called me darling, right? I guess that's good. Well, I decided then to start watching Law and Order, Game of Thrones, The Big Bang Theory, Friends, over and over again in English with subtitles, and then again in English with no subtitles, but the Tennessean English remained elusive to me. What was I thinking? A friend said, Carolina, you gotta think like a native. Oh, so you mean think like some of those Americans who feel the world revolves around them? I can do that. I'm an only child. It didn't work. So I began keeping my Spanish interactions to a minimum because the goal was to immerse myself in the culture and the language. But behind doors, I listened to música en español because the English music didn't speak of home. I remember a friend warning me to be very careful when pronouncing the word F-O-C-U-S. So it wouldn't sound like that thing that people enjoy doing in the dark. Because the Spanish O is short and flat, whereas the English O is round and long. Also, I didn't get the memo that about 100 years ago, when your European ancestors were crossing the Atlantic Ocean, for some reason, the letter T in the alphabet, they just threw it out the boat and turned T's into R's like a new American ability instead of ability. So my T's and R's were strong, hard, and sharp. And some people didn't like that. One of the most embarrassing yet fun memories of my English journey happened at my wedding. I married a Tennessean. I don't learn quickly. Yes, I love challenges. So we had a private ceremony, the lady judge, my beloved, and I. Why? Because the moment we announced our engagement, both sides of the family began just overwhelming us with what we had to do with the cake, the dress, the music, who pays the tickets and the food and this and that. And my dearest doesn't like the spotlight, and also they were saying that we had to pay everything. So I said, no, we're having a private ceremony. So we married at a small park in Johnson City, Tennessee. The lady judge said that it would take about 10 minutes. And we were, yes, we're going to Dollywood! The perfect honeymoon for a social worker and a storyteller. We were poor. Well, the lady judge then asked my beloved to repeat after her. I, Spencer Jordan Stoltz, take you, Carolina Andrea Quiroga Hurtado, as my lawful wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, as long as we both shall live. Blah, blah, blah. Then it was my turn. I, Carolina Andrea Quiroga Hurtado, take you, Spencer Jordan Stoltz, as my lawful husband, to have and to hold from this day. Howard? Who's Howard? Oh, shoot, her accent. I can't understand what she's saying. Pay attention, Carolina. Focus. No, focus. For richer, for poorer. Oh, come on, lady. You don't have to rub it in our faces. We already know we're poor. Pay attention, Carolina. I am. Oh, no. This is what I get for not having a Catholic wedding, inviting people and getting in massive debt. That's not the worst part. Here it comes. For as long as we both shall live. What is shall live? I've been in this country for 2 years and I still don't know what shall live means. I know. Oh, no. The tears are coming. Oh, no. This is what I get for not rehearsing the vows, printing them. Oh, I want to run, hide, and start it all over again with a cheat sheet. It was a mess. I still don't know if my marriage is legal. So please don't call eyes on me. Because between her Tennessean accent, my low English self-esteem, and the nerves that come with such a, drastic decision, because marrying is not a thing, it's not like changing a shirt, right? Well, I vomited. Incoherent words as obediently as I could. But I didn't understand half of what she said. We just celebrated our 10th anniversary. Thank you. And I'm finally understanding half of it. Well, in the meantime, my beloved is wondering what's wrong with me, right? And so he's thinking, oh no, this whole thing of as long as we both shall live is probably too long for her. She's a Sagittarius. Well, the lady judge was very moved and she said, oh my dearest, this is so beautiful, so lovely. Your bride is so in love. So there is a story around East Tennessee about a bride who cried through the vows because she was so in love. And we're going to keep it like that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming here today. I hope it was a wonderful experience, as it was for at least us, I'm sure. Remember, we're the Asheville Storytelling Circle. If you want to join us, or just give it a try. We meet every third Monday of the month at the Quaker's Friends House. I'm doubting it because we just changed in location, so this is going to be our first time meeting there. And we meet at 7 p.m. And I would like to invite Chuck, Dada, and Wallace to come here on stage so we can give it one round of applause.